Central bankers love being boring, and by that measure, Mario Draghi from the European Central Bank has failed miserably today. It was quite an exciting press conference and set of announcements from the Central Bank today. Paul Hannon's here to talk to me about what happened. Paul, what didn't happen? I mean, it kind of went a bit crazy.
It did. Lots of things didn't happen. For example, there wasn't any classic quantitative easing, which some people had thought he might announce following his comments at Jackson Hole. But apart from that, and there's still the hint that that might be available at a later stage if things get bad again. Apart from that, there was quite a lot. There were more cuts in interest rates and 2 new programs to buy bonds, one asset-backed securities, the other covered bonds, which are a similar sort of thing linked to mortgage lending. And
as you say, he's left the door open really to buying sovereign debt, pretty explicitly.
Yeah, he goes out of his way to mention that that's a possibility, although he did sort of suggest, I think, in speaking about the lack of unanimity on the Governing Council, that might be a little bit of a hard thing to get agreement on. But still, it's out there as a possibility. And I think as the months have gone on, you're seeing an ECB that is beginning to convince people that it is, in fact, active.
Yeah, well, it's strange, though, because almost nobody called this. I mean, OK, a few people called it, but it really came out of left field for most economists. Why are people having such a hard time reading the tea leaves with the ECB at the moment?
Possibly because the ECB is having a really hard time reading the economy and its own plans.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was...
And they don't agree, right?
They don't agree, so you can't always sort of figure out what you're going to do in advance. But think about this. In June, they changed their forward guidance and said essentially interest rates are not going to fall again. Today, they cut interest rates. So 3 months ago, they did not expect to be in this position. And that is possibly why markets are not getting it exactly right. Also, I mean, Mario Draghi is one policymaker. He made a significant speech in Wyoming, but we didn't hear that or anything equivalent to it from, the other 23 odd members of the Governing Council. And usually you have a little bit of follow through. When Mario speaks, usually you have 1 or 2 or 3 others coming out and saying similar things.
Yeah. What's happened today is taken a big chunk out of the euro exchange rate. This will go down very nicely, I imagine, with politicians and with some policymakers too.
The ECB would be very, very pleased about that. If they had one immediate goal when they, went out today after finishing their meeting, it would have been to push the euro down. In fact, that may be the main objective of pretty much everything they're doing at the moment.
So they failed to be boring, but they succeeded in bringing down the euro.
Yeah, I mean, it will take some time to see if any of this stuff really does get to the real economy and really does persuade businesses to invest or households to spend and changes the longer term outlook for the Eurozone. But, looking at it from the point of view of a single goal today, they succeeded in pushing the euro down.
Yeah, our nerves are shot to pieces, but that's not really the point. Thanks very much for your insight.